Then we do the height, and the height is from here to here. Okay, that's the height. And then we do the width. See this imaginary line? It's the width. See, you have just as much cortex here as you have here. That's a true round transverse kidney. We don't measure the height here. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have to do it this way somewhere else. Okay? Because the height is the height. So, but here at Harris Health System, you put 2 measurements on the sagittal, and you put 1 measurement on the transverse. Also here at Harris Health, we measure the cortex. This is the cortex, this is the medulla. The medulla consists of the renal sinus, and so you would measure it from here to here, okay? And it should be greater than 1 centimeter. Should be greater than 1 centimeter, okay? So that is how we measure that. Now, whenever we do kidneys, we also need to get a comparison view. So the right kidney, you're going to compare the right kidney and the liver. The left kidney, you're going to compare the left kidney and the spleen. The kidneys are hypo, sometimes isoechoic to the liver or the spleen. If the right kidney is very, 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 very hypoechoic to the point that you can't even see the cortex, then you have a sick liver. You have a fatty liver. So what happens when we take pictures of something, so here's my transducer, here is my liver, here's my liver, and then here is my kidney, okay? Here's my kidney. Okay, if I have a lot of fat in my liver, the ultrasound is going to be very, very strong. Then as it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, there's no more ultrasound to go back to the transducer. We call that attenuation. Have y'all studied that any at all yet? You're gonna, it's physics, attenuation. So by the time it gets to the kidneys, there's no more echoes, and so it turns out kind of black. Okay? But, because ultrasound, it sends out a pulse and it goes back, and it sends out a pulse, it goes back, it sends out a pulse, it goes back.
So does that mean the kidney is diseased or the liver?
The liver is diseased. Okay. If my kidney is hyperechoic to either the spleen or to the liver, my kidney is sick. Got it? Okay. Well, that didn't stay on very long, did it? Okay. See these right here? They sit medial superior kidney. That is the adrenal gland. Okay? It sits superior medial kidney. We have 2 kidneys, 2 arteries, 2 veins, 2 ureters, 1 bladder. What is it called where the bladder, the ureters go into the bladder?
Diaphragm.
Okay, and then the urethra. Okay, your book is wrong. Okay, these are the numbers I want you to remember for the kidney. Okay, they should always be 9 to 12.
So we can call the urinary bladder tribome?
No. No, the trigon is a part of the urinary bladder. Okay, it's part of, it's just an area of, okay? So the width is 4 to 5 centimeters, the thickness is 2.5 to 3 centimeters. And then your cortex should be greater than 1. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, so the renal capsule, it's smooth, it's reflective, that's what gives it the shiny. The cortex should be homogeneous. It should be hypoechoic to the liver, hypoechoic to the spleen. They can be isoechoic, never hyperechoic. Okay? The medulla is where the medullary pyramids are. Sometimes those can fill up with fluid. This is the one from the book. If y'all are looking for what I'm going off of. This is the one I sent you that came from the book. Okay? So the medulla, the pyramids are part of the pelvis. Another name for the pelvis is the sinus, okay? The renal sinus, of course, is gonna be very hyperechoic. If you have where it's hypoechoic and you can see it go all the way around the kidney, we call that cholestasis, meaning there's too much fluid in the minor calyces. Okay, so this is the core. I just downloaded this off the internet. You can see that this is the cortex, and all of this is considered the medulla. Okay?
The medulla is the pyramid, or the pyramids inside
Are
the medulla?
part of
Part of medulla.
the medulla. Okay? Cortex, medulla. Okay? Inside the medulla, you have the pyramids, you have the calyces, the cortex holds what? What's in the cortex?
The nephrons.
The nephrons. What separates the medulla from the cortex are the arcuate arteries.
Again,
Okay.
please, what separates what?
I'm sorry?
The cortex from the medulla, it's the outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The arcuate arteries
yeah, okay.
separate the cortex from the medulla. Okay. Embryology, I hate embryology, almost as much as I do kidneys. Okay. So, when the blastocyst goes implants into the uterus, it's still round, okay? It has 2 layers of trophoblastic cells and an inner cell mass. That inner cell mass is going to become the baby, okay? So it starts out as a disc, it curls like a taco, and then it turns like a fortune cookie. Okay? That's the easiest way to remember it. It's gonna fold, it's flat, it curls like a taco, it folds like a fortune cookie. Okay? Now, it starts forming, the kidneys start forming when it's still in the conceptus stage. Conception is weeks from the first day of fertilization up to 2 weeks. The 3rd week through the 9th week is called an embryo. After the 10th week to the 40th week, it's considered a fetus. Okay. So when the baby turns 3 weeks old in utero, my mother doesn't even know she's pregnant yet, right? Because she's She's a little late for her period, but she's not worried about missing her period yet. Already during that time, I have pronephros that are developing. Now, we don't see these first two, the pronephros or the mesonephros. We don't see those. It's the metanephros that will become our permanent kidneys. Okay, so here it is. I just got this off the internet. Okay, the allantois. The allantois is part of the baby during the conceptus period. I'll send it to y'all. Okay, so you have the pronephros, we have the mesonephros, and we have the metanephros, and we also have what we call the cloaca. The cloaca, again, is just part of the fetus during embryology. To get a better picture of it, I also downloaded this one. So now it's already folded and it's starting to curl. We can tell the head from the tail. So the pronephros, they're only present for the first 4 weeks. They are non-functional. They have nothing to do with the kidneys, except for we have to have them for those cells to develop into the mesonephros. Okay? So the mesonephros, they form later in the 4th week, and they act as the interim kidneys up until week 9. Okay? Now, after that, the metanephros, which start appearing after the 5th week, take over at the 10th week, and our baby starts producing urine. Okay? So pronephros, mesonephros, and metanephros. The kidneys form in the pelvic, and they go up into the renal fosses. Okay? They're formed in the pelvis, and then they go up. So if we don't see a kidney, as sonographers, we immediately go to the pelvis if we cannot find. Now, because of this, if you have an abnormal uterus or an abnormal penis or an abnormal kidney, they're all intertwined. Okay? Because they form from the very same thing called the mesonephric duct. So the metanephros turn into the mesonephric ducts. But we're going to get there. So let's go back. Let's go back to the 3rd week, and you have what? You have the pronephros that are starting to form. Okay? They come from the mesoderm. Remember the 3 layers: endoderm, mesoderm, ectoderm. Okay, so the kidneys form from the mesoderm. Okay? The mesoderm is the middle layer between the endoderm and the ectoderm. Which one is the inside layer of the cells? The endoderm. Ectoderm is the outer layer of cells. Okay? So during the 4th week, we have the pronephros. They are called our 4 fingers. They're non-functioning. They degenerate, but we have to have them because they leave a duct for the metanephros. Okay? Because they're utilized. What am I trying? I keep wanting to say uterized. But they are utilized for the next formation, the next stage of the kidneys during that early embryo period. So, in the later part of the 4th week, we have our mesonephros that develop, and those are called the mid-kidneys. They are formed from the caudid. What does caudid mean? The bottom to the nephros, pronephros, and provides partial function with permanent kidney continues to develop. So pronephros develop into mesonephros, and the mesonephros is what gives rise to the mesonephric duct. Okay?